Hey, Desiree here with Soulpath Astrology and this week's Oracle card readings. Welcome to video 3. If this was your selection, this is what you got. As always, though, before I reveal it, I do invite you to like the channel if you find value in these videos, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and well, just, golly, just tell me that you enjoy them. Okay, without further ado. Actually, there is going to be further ado because we're going to talk about the Great Alignment. I'm sure you've heard spread from hell to breakfast, as the saying goes. The whole internet is alive with wonder at this great alignment that comes into full effect tomorrow on the 25th. What does it mean? What does it mean when the planets line up? Well, in this case, one of the most obvious energetic meanings behind it is alignment, right? And so, what does it mean to be in alignment? What does it mean to be honoring your truth? What does it mean to shed what no longer fits as we come into the 29th? That is the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year. We are going to be in the year of the wood snake, and snakes are all about rebirth and death. Like Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto is also about rebirth and death and shedding what is not truthfully in alignment with ourselves. And an invitation we're all receiving is how to manage this great big energetic shakeup, this great big invitation into our truth and our integrity and living a life that feels like, we're doing the thing that we came here to do. How do you balance that in relation to what's here right now? Right? Because what is present tense in our culture, in our society, in our world, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't fit. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't feel good. There's a lot of stuff that's like a shoe that's too small or a jacket that's too tight. And we need to allow it to go. So the energy of that and how that connects with this card, we've got the Two of Pentacles. And this is about juggling finances, juggling two different paradigms, right? So as we leave one behind and we enter into the next one, how do we do that with grace? How do we transition into this new way of being in a way that has a degree of kindness, of softness, of grace? Like, it doesn't have to be a really painful shakeup, though there will likely be parts of that, particularly for anything that you've been hanging on to way past its expiry date. It might feel especially challenging to release that. We are in a 9 universal year. So 2025 is all about letting go what no longer fits, releasing the stuff, the people, the ideologies, the jobs, the social systems that don't fit. A lot of them are sneaky and they are inside ourselves. So it's not even about what's going on in the world. There's this call. A lot of these planets are in retrograde. This is a very retrograde year. In fact, not only are several of the planets changing signs, they're changing back and forth. They're between the 29th, the anaretic degree, and 0, and they're going to go back and forth all year. This is like palpable, strong. It's a squeeze. They're contractions. It's contractions. We are globally in a state of rebirth and we are in the contraction phase. And so, as much as we can spend time connecting with what's true for us and aligning with what's most alive for you and just letting go of what no longer fits, this is going to be the thing that gets you through this year with the least amount of broken bones, so to say. The Two of Pentacles is inviting you into being flexible. And with the retrograde, it's like going within yourself with a degree of curiosity, right? This is a big energy with the two. It's like, how do I release the judgment and my rigidity? The Two of Pentacles is about juggling, right? There's a balance and dance. So it's releasing rigidity around ideas that I've carried for a long time and becoming more curious about my judgments and about my ideas and about my self-identification or the protective measures that I've used or habits of being that I've been incorporating for my whole life. Like, a lot of this is coming up to be questioned. And it's easier to do it if it's playful, if it's curious, if you're kind of the joker and you're kind of juggling, right? There's a degree of light on your feet, light on your toes, being flexible. In that, I don't mean not having good boundaries and having very permeable boundaries. This is actually, it's a flexibility in being willing to let go, the flexibility and softness that you need in order to surrender what's no longer serving you. And becoming curious about your relationship with polarity. So the two, right? Polarity. Where is your relationship to what you don't like, what you're not for? How much energy are you associating with that? How much energy are you focusing on what you don't want? Do you maybe have a habit of having to bring into your life stuff you don't want? Because there's kind of like I like pushing against it. I like rebelling against things, right? So is this a habit, right? Is this something? Because as long as you need to feel like you're pushing against something, you're going to continuously invite into your life things to push against and then bitch and complain about all the things that don't suit you. The solution: how can you start to focus more on what you want? This is about building systems. This is about recognizing these habits you might have that aren't serving you. And how can I instead focus on what I do want? What does serve me? Because in watering what you want and just taking your attention off of what you don't want. So it's not about pushing it, it's simply about taking your attention off of it to focus on what you do want. This is like a much gentler way of shedding that skin. It's a much easier way of just moving into the direction of what's opening for you instead of having to get there through pushing, right? Like you can feel the difference there, right? And as long as we continue to need something to push against, we are only going to continue to attract into our life the stuff that we don't want, right? So notice that. Notice where this might be a pattern in your life and where you can catch yourself as you start to go down those patterns. Catch yourself as you go down that habit of thinking or that need to be right or whatever. And just not today, Satan. And just turn to what you do want and pull your energy off it, because your energy is the most valuable resource you have. Your attention, your focus, your energy is so precious. And that too is what we're going to see a lot more of as we come into this year, is what is valuable actually, and really beginning to see how unbelievably priceless your attention and your focus is and where you put it and in what service to what. So yeah, I hope that landed. Juggling, finding balance, uniting polarities by simply focusing on what you want and allowing what you don't want to just fade away. If you want a deep dive, see where this might be happening in your own life personally, if you want, really integrated support through that, I would love to help. You can find a link to my calendar in the description of the card and in the comment section. As always, you know that I love you. Enjoy your week. Maybe do something special tomorrow to honor. Now, give this a sense of sacredness and honor. Honor this alignment, this energy that's here to support you in your own truth, in finding balance. Authentic balance that feels full and true and good and like you, in alignment, in attunement with you. Yeah. Okay. Bye for now.